Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Dad's Expensive Hobby.
What's up?
Today, I'm taking a look at the McFarlane Toys Deluxe Theatrical Edition of Lobo from the upcoming Supergirl movie. This is Jason Momoa being Jason Momoa, if I'm to make a prediction about this movie. I know that McFarlane has recently released a couple of other versions of the comic Lobo or whatever, but I don't really care about those. I don't really care about this one because if you've watched my channel for a while, you know I haven't done a McFarlane Toys review in a minute, and reviewing this one reminded me why I haven't done that. So let's just get it over with. The package right here, not a bad package. Nice window. Of course, there's window on the top and the side to let light in. You know, has some nice, that blue metallic lettering looks pretty good. Decent shot of Millie Alcock looking all right. And then a not so flattering image of Jason Momoa. And he looks like he's dressed up as the Crow for Halloween. I'm not really a big fan of this image. But anyways, packaging itself wise, McFarlane does a pretty good job when they put them in these black boxes. But, the pictures kind of sucked. To the top of this figure's head, he is right at 18 centimeters, which would make the figure 7 inches. I know this is a 1/10 line, like a 7-inch line. I don't have any more McFarlane's to compare him to, but here he is with a Storm Collectibles Nightwolf, and Nightwolf's a lot bigger than him, so I don't know if Jason Momoa's character here is too small or what's going on, and I don't care. Here he is with a Marvel Legends Deadpool, and he's a lot bigger, of course. And one of the best figures of all time, the Storm Arena Ryu. So that should give you some idea of how big this dude is. Now, let's talk about how he looks. At a glance, he looks cool, and I'll tell you why. Because they have done a really good job with this jacket. It is nice, soft plastic. They didn't over commit any kind of particular posing or anything going on with the jacket. Just a little bit of flaring right here, and it just kind of drapes, and it's nice and soft plastic. I like that. There's lots of dry brush on it, lots of detail. I like the jacket, and yes, you can remove it. I am not doing that because I don't care enough about this figure to do that, but you could remove it. This jacket is by and large the best part. The head right here. The hair is sculpted okay. It needs some dry brush and stuff like that. The face, they did not really capture, what's his name? Momoa, too much in it. I mean, it doesn't look horrific, but it's not great. He looks like Vampire the Crow right there with the little fangs and stuff in his mouth. I'm not a big fan of it. We'll look at the other one here in a minute. The paint on his body and stuff it's okay, I suppose. They've got some sort of weird little wash going on with the main part of his body. And his body it's not a soft sculpt, but it's not the most chiseled I've ever seen. Legs. They look like shit, in my opinion. They're very, very tubular, and yeah, that'll be hidden by the jacket, but there's no muscularity or anything to them. And, hold on a second, I think I'm getting ready to sneeze. Oh, shit. Okay. The knees. Let's look at the knees really quick. They are off center. This is the knee right here. This is the front of his leg. The knees are tilted inwards. I don't know what's going on with that, and it makes him stand and look really, really strange. I don't like it at all. I've even tried to adjust the thigh swivel to compensate, and something's just off because the little shin guards here, which are done pretty decent, there's some nice dry brush on them. They're cockeyed too, if you can see that. So I don't know what the thinking is or what's going on with this and why it was done that way. It doesn't really look right. It makes him look knock-kneed when he's standing there. The little boots, they're okay. I'm really not that big a fan of them. They just look kind of scuffed and dirty. They've done dry brush on it, but it's like they didn't do enough or something. It just doesn't look right. I don't really like the little soft, the soft diaper piece that, that McFarlane does on their figures, because it's connected to this belt here. The belt isn't free floaty. This is all one piece. And I just don't like it. And I don't like these chains. They didn't put nearly enough dry brush on them. They just look like green little chains that would be hanging off, and they're sculpted plastic. They're not actual chain, and I'll show you in a second why that kind of irritates me. We'll go over that here in a minute, but they look not so good. The skull is okay. The necklace here, again, sculpted plastic. We couldn't even get real chain out of that. It looks like there's some kind of space grenade or something hanging off of him. That's really cute. Ha ha ha. The forearm gauntlets, they attempted to put a a couple of spots of dry brush on it, not done very well. The little spikes or nails or whatever sticking out of his forearm. It is what it is. Neither side looks really good. The hands, none of the hands have any kind of dry brush or paint on them. They're just very plain and meh. And like I said about the body, it's just not real good. And I'll point out why. Look right there. See that? Let's lift the back of his jacket up really quick. Shoot. Just do it. Do you see that right there? That looks like abs, doesn't it? Would you like to know why? Because they put this piece on backwards. This is actually his lower back.
Surprise, motherfucker.
It came in the package with this lower torso piece on backwards. Hopefully that's not every freaking like copy of this, but mine sure as shit came like that, and that kind of sucks. So just huge red flag for me. And again, this reminds me why I don't buy McFarlane toys, but I'll show you again just so you believe me. If I can get his jacket out of the way. That right there, that's his six-pack. That's supposed to be on the front. So major problem. This figure just it just doesn't look that good. Now for accessories, his accessories suck. I'm not gonna lie. This is a $35 McFarlane figure, and he really doesn't get any good accessories. But he does come with two heads. You saw this head right here that came on him in the package. We looked at it here in a second ago, and he gets a little stoic head. That is not really done any better, but it does look a little bit more like Jason Momoa than the other one. So this one isn't done up too bad, even though he still looks like he is cosplaying the Crow. He does come with 2, 4, 6, 7 different hands. He comes with a trigger hand on him in the package for a gun that he doesn't come with, and then a gripping hand that 2 trigger hands really, and he doesn't have anything to shoot. He comes with these 2 hands right here that are the same hand. They're both a right hand. This is a gripping hand and a little fist hand. They both look like crap. Some little fist hand right here with like weird brass knuckles or something off of them, sculpted and looks like absolute crap. Got an open kind of hand right here with claws on it. Does he have claws? I didn't think that Lobo has claws. Somebody who's a Lobo expert, tell me down in the comments. And then of course, he has a thumbs up hand. Is that something that he does? Somebody tell me down in the comments. It does not look very good. And of course, he gets his question mark sword right here that, you know, the dry brush looks okay on it. It is nothing special. It's just flexible little plastic. The reason why I pointed out the chains around his waist, we get real chain right here, but we can't get it on the necklace or on the little chains around his waist. What's going on there? Just inconsistency out the butthole. And of course, it's a McFarlane figure, so we get the little card right there. I didn't even have the heart to pull it out of there. And he gets the little half-ass stand down in there. Nothing special. Accessories kind of suck. All right, now for articulation, this guy doesn't move very well either. He's got a double ball peg coming from the neck into the head here, but the hair sculpt is not going to allow it to do literally anything. It'll lean forward ever so slightly. It'll come back to neutral. You're not going to get him to look up or go side to side or anything. You can't even get a 360 out of it. Again, like I said, because of the hair. But like I just said, it is on a double ball peg, and it's a fairly decently executed double ball peg. Just the head sculpt's not going to let it do anything. Shoulders will come out to 90, I guess, so that's okay. Full 360. He's got a butterfly built in there, but they don't work at all. They suck. Like, it'll take the shoulder back a little bit. Doesn't take them up and down, and it definitely is not bringing that arm across the body. So that's kind of a big swing and a miss. Bicep swivel, that works okay, I suppose. Pinned, double jointed elbow, tons of range, looks crazy crappy. Look at those big gaps at the top and bottom of the joint, and then the floating, elbow right there, whatever, that sucks. The wrist is a ball hinge, and it's like the entire wrist is the ball hinge, and I hate that look, but you will get rotation, and it will move around plenty for you, but who gives a shit? Right here, I think there's a double ball peg in here, but he will not lean forward at all. Will lean back a little bit on it, and you'll get some twist out of it, and that's really about it. But we've already decided that the torso is on backwards. Let me see if I can kind of rearrange that really quick here on camera. Hey, look, we kind of fixed it.
It's not that hard.
Actually, looks halfway decent now that I do that. Still does not lean forward at all. Will lean back a little bit. And there's a big wash line. You see that right there? That's terrible. That looks like shit. So it doesn't crunch forward. Ball peg down here in the waist. It doesn't help much either, but it will do some twist, and that's about it. So that articulation blows. Legs, almost a full split. That's not too terrible. The second you let go of it, they want to kind of crank back down in the middle. Front kick, not very good either. This is a soft crotch piece, so the leg will kick back a little bit. Thigh swivel, that works okay. We've already talked about the fact that the knees are off center, so that really sucks. They're double jointed and pinned. Pretty decent amount of range. That's not horrific. I've seen a lot better. And that knee itself doesn't look too good. Ankle swivel down here, and the ankle itself is on a ball hinge. Does not really go down. Will come up a little bit, and you do get some ankle rocker, kind of steep, but it's there. Peg hole in the bottom of the foot. Now, get ready to laugh. Toe hinge, looks ridiculous, doesn't move very far, it's way back on the foot, right there in the middle of the foot. What the fuck? And it might hold the weight of the figure, and I don't like how they sculpted the foot. They sculpted it kind of rounded up, and this is not the right kind of footwear to do that, so I just don't like it. So overall, his articulation is meh. Final thoughts on this figure. It's not very good. I don't recommend it. I know that there's going to be a lot of you all that go out there and buy it just because you're in love with the movie you haven't even seen yet and you want it and all that good shit. I have not heard any good reviews about any of the figures that have come out from this particular release for this movie, and this is no exception. This is not a good figure. I'll give it a C- at best because a lot of parts of it do work, but a lot don't. Anyways, don't buy it. That's all I've got for Lobo here. Be sure and like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. And this has been Dad with Dad's Expensive Hobby, and I'll talk to you all in the next video.